How to make offerings to pagan gods and goddesses with Lora O'Brien from the Irish Pagan School. Another one from the frequently asked questions file at the Irish Pagan School is how to make offerings to pagan gods and goddesses. So if you're confused or have questions on this topic, you are not alone. The following is not specific to Irish or Celtic gods and goddesses, but does of course apply to them too, as that is the perspective I am writing from. Hopefully this video will help you on the path towards right relationship with your deity, whatever pantheon you work with. First, the types of offerings to pagan gods. So there are a few different types of offerings you can make. In brief, you can offer items, so things like maybe jewelry or weaponry, which you dedicate to the deity, and then either wear or use in their honor, or break in this world so that it dies and goes to them in the other world. You can offer perishables, things like maybe food or alcohol, which you give to them from your kitchen stove or dining table, lay out on an altar, or at a time or location that is sacred to them. And then intangibles, things like maybe a poem or a piece of art, a song or a prayer, physical or mental training, self-development work such as therapy, or a specific piece of work that you do, which you create or do that is specifically dedicated for them or to them. What you choose as an offering will vary by the deity themselves. For example, if there's something that the gods' accurate cultural source mythology, not just ideas gleaned from some random Wiccan associations list that you saw on Pinterest, please. If there's something that is particularly associated with them, it would be good to include this. The Morrigan is definitely associated with corvids, so ethically sourcing and offering some feathers or even a crow or raven skull would be appropriate. The Dagda was guardian of a cauldron that never ran dry, so offering the act of cooking your family's food or a portion of your dinner to him each day would be appropriate. Oma was the mythical creator of the Irish Om writing system, so dedicating your study of the Om, or indeed any academic learning, to him would be appropriate. You get the idea, I'm sure. But if you'd like to learn more about how to work with Irish gods and goddesses, you can find classes on that at theirishpaganschool.com. What to do with offerings to pagan gods? With some perishable offerings and some deities, it is fitting to consume the offering in honor of the gods as part of your ritual. Perhaps even when their spirit is present in your own form, done through invocation, or present with you in the space, done through evocation, and sharing the experience with them in that sense. This is not a necessary component when you make offerings to pagan gods, however, and is a little outside the scope of this video, but I did want to mention it at least. You can learn more about invocation and evocation in my book, A Practical Guide to Pagan Priesthood, which was published by Llewellyn in 2019. In the normal run of things, once your offering has been made, we understand that the spirit or energetic essence of what you offered has been consumed by the gods. As such, it is not generally appropriate for you or anyone else within your household, including pets, to consume an item which was offered. If this does happen by accident, please don't worry. My understanding of this, through the Irish tradition at least, is that the goodness has been taken from it, and it'll not do you any good to eat or drink it after that. If the gods have already taken their due, I don't think they'll be angry if the leftovers get eaten up by a greedy kitten or something by mistake. This also helps with the idea that many have that we are wasting good food or drink. It's not wasted. You have given these items as offerings to pagan gods, and if you believe that they exist, then you should believe they deserve and can gain benefit from that food or drink, and it is not being wasted. I always leave perishables for at least 24 hours, but occasionally 2 to 3 days. After that, they are poured outside if liquid, or left to the wild birds or animals if it is safe for the local plants, birds and animals. Please always do a quick Google to check the specifics in your own area. When I lived in apartments and didn't have an outside that was easily accessible, I kept a designated plant pot filled just with soil, which I left by a window for liquids, or on a balcony where birds could access it for solids. I would change out and refresh this soil seasonally, usually at each of the fire festivals, as part of my ritual preparation for the changing times. For perishables that aren't suitable for disposal in this way, I would just use the compost or regular rubbish bins. As I said, the gods have already taken the good of the offering, so it is okay to dispose of the energetically empty remains in whatever way is safe and respectful for your living situation and makes sense to you. When it comes to items which you dedicate to the deity, these can be used or worn as appropriate to your devotional practice, and simply left in situ as altar or room decoration if not being used in that way. If there comes a time when you wish to repurpose or replace an item, it will be necessary to disconnect it from that deity with a simple cleansing process and remove it from service. Personally, I would also offer a replacement if that does happen. And please remember that an offering can be as simple as lighting a candle or a tea light, as some incense or smoke that raises in the air, as pouring out some fresh water or keeping a bowl of fresh water. It doesn't always have to be expensive. It doesn't always have to be effort. It should require some effort, I suppose, in fairness, but it can be simple, especially if you are creating a daily or even a weekly practice, if you're on a tight budget, if you have some reason that you can't or won't have alcohol in your house. It is okay to make offerings in whatever way suits you, suits the deity, suits your relationship with that god or goddess. So I hope that tells you all you need to know to be getting on with making offerings to pagan gods. But if you want to take things a step further, you might enjoy my class on meeting Irish gods at the irishpaganschool.com. Gura mahagat agus slán go fóill.